Hey guys, it's Young Acty the Political Kid, back at it again with another video. And I know it's been like freaking 9 months or whatever, it's been a while. I'm not gonna give you an explanation on that. I don't think I have to, but I'm back. So that's what's important. I really just wanted to put something out there today because I miss creating, I miss talking, I miss being in the political space, in the sphere, and communicating with you guys about your ideas and your ideologies and everything. I want to talk about the Israel-Palestine conflict. Essentially, first I want to give a breakdown of the history of the situation because I feel like that's the most important thing to recognize before even delving into the topic. I understand that there's two really schools of thought, religious kind of aspect of it between Muslims and Jews and all that, but what I really want to focus on is the people, right? The nationalities, right? So essentially 100 years ago, about early 1900s, there was this big movement. Basically where Israel is right now, it was all controlled under the Ottoman Empire. Arabs started to gain a sense of nationality, that they weren't just Muslim Arabs, they were actually Palestinians, and that this was their land and that they deserved their own nation, right? And that happened in the early 1900s. At that same time, there was this Zionist movement, this belief that being Jewish was not only a religion, but also an ethnicity and a nationality that deserved their own nation state. At the time, under the Ottoman Empire, there were only 12,000 Jews in that area in what we now consider Israel. Alright, so essentially, World War I happened. Britain and France split up that area because, you know, Germany was like, they were like, fuck Germany, I am not fucking with y'all are getting nothing. So, you know, which is what led to World War II, blah, blah, blah. Getting off track. Essentially, yeah, they broke up into that area, and that region was known as British Palestine. Like, that was literally what it was called. Like, that's what it was recognized as nationally. Then World War II happened. The UN proposes that it needs to be its own place. Like, it can't be under control of. We need to break apart this colonial mindset, right? This imperialism mindset. They broke that apart, and they suggested that Arabs get their own state, and Israel gets their own state. Jerusalem is gonna be just this neutral, just place, like that place that the Pope lives. I don't remember, in Italy. I don't remember what it's called. I'm not into that. So anyway, so it's just a neutral point. Palestinians were not messing with that. Jews accepted it because they got a lot of land, and they were happy with what they had. But Arabs were surrounded by Israel around all points, and they're like, yo, this is like an assault. First of all, we had this land, we were granted this land under British rule, and now it's getting taken away from us and given to the Jews. There was a war on that. Israel won, and it led to this situation that we are currently seeing, right? And it's just been a conflict all since then. Over the past 10-15 years, Israel has been expanding Jewish settlements along areas that are recognized to be Palestinian, that they were supposed to be granted that land, having an ethnic cleansing in those areas, getting people out, killing people if they're not getting out, making people homeless, just telling them to leave, and that's what's been happening. So first I want to break up, so that's the history. First I want to break up my opinion on what America should do, my opinion on how to fix it. I understand that Israel is a long-time ally, an important ally in that region of the world, and it's important that we keep that connection strong. So essentially what I would do is I wouldn't necessarily put funds toward advocating for Palestinians, because that's just going to create conflict with Israel, and that's just going to go down a path that we don't need right now. What I would do is completely stop funding Israel. Why are we funding an ethnic cleansing? We're still giving them money, we're still giving them benefits, they're still benefiting off of what they're doing. Why is that happening? Why is that happening? Joe Biden should completely drop all funding, all military funding, all that type of funding to Israel. They're already the most dominant military state in that region. Israel likes to act like they're this little wussy state surrounded by a bunch of big bad bullies in the Middle East, when that is not the case. They are a nuclear power, one of the only one really in that region. They have the most advanced military technology, and they have the Iron Dome, which has been protecting them for forever. Which is why in 2014, when Hamas started firing rockets for pushback on expanding Jewish settlements, they basically destroyed Palestine. 500 children died, compared to, and over 2,000 Palestinians were killed, compared to a few hundred on the Israeli side. So the responses are unproportionate because Hamas is making homemade missiles, and Israel is firing targeted missiles that are completely advanced, technologically advanced, way past what Hamas has the ability of even making, and targeting civilian places. They've bombed the UN schools. They've bombed the Associated Press building, which has stood there for 20 years. They've bombed the only surgeon in the entire region. There's one surgeon in the entire region dead. So they don't, their medical capabilities is hampered so much, right? They've been bombing hospitals. They don't have a chance to build up a society, which is why Hamas has gained so much support. Essentially, it is 100% on Israel to stop what's going on in that region. Because let's say Hamas stops being violent right now, they disband. What happens is Israel continues its ethnic cleansing, continues pushing Palestinians out of those regions until they're literally no longer there anymore. And they create an entire ethno-state. It's entirely on Israel to start putting time towards negotiations, offering peace solutions, so that Hamas is not gaining the support that it has. Because we've seen in the past, the more that Israel's aggressive, the more support Hamas has. So stop enabling them and start helping them, right? And that's how you fix this issue. Now, one, I don't believe in a two-state solution. That's a lie, and that's never going to exist. That's just never going to happen. It's not. And if you really believe that, then you're not really educated on the issue. It's just not going to happen, right? That's not what Israel wants, and that's what's been pointed to time and time again. I think we should completely disband Israel. I don't think Israel should be a thing. I'm sorry. I do not agree with ethno-states. And the reason why is because of what's going on. When you have an ethno-state, there's little room for tolerance among other people. This gives an excuse. So why can't white people go ahead and say, well, we want an ethno-state of ourselves, right? And I understand this oppression and the things that Jews have been through to kind of justify this action in this nation state. But black people have been through 200 years of slavery. Why can't black people now just come up and say, okay, well, we want our own section of America, and we want an ethno-state in America. Only black people are allowed there. Like, why can't that happen? Like, what is different? I don't think any race, ethnicity, or religion should be all-encompassing and the only one in control and inhabiting a certain area in this world. I don't believe that should happen anywhere. Yeah, that's basically it. That's all I wanted to bring up and just say my views on and talk about, and hopefully I get some comments about how you guys feel on this issue, because I really want feedback from the audience on how they feel, because especially with the information that I've said, and I really believe that you guys should look into it. Vox does a great video on the Israel-Palestine conflict and everything going on there. I think that there should be a lot of independent research and more research done towards this issue, because it's a huge issue and it is affecting Americans, because a lot of our taxpayer dollars is going towards Israel and funding this ethnic cleansing. So I think it's an important issue for Americans to actually look into and be knowledgeable about, because it is affecting us. That's it for today, guys. Just a simple quick video. Please leave a like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already. Share this. Please talk about this with your peers and even just random people that you know. Just hop on Tinder and be like, yo, what do you think about Israel and Palestine? Like, what's your opinion on that? That's a great thing to know. Like, that's really telling of who a person is. So do that and subscribe. See you guys later.